What's going on, guys? Greg B here for the United Hour, and we've been hearing a lot of different news circulating about certain players. Most recently, we've been in the reports of the whole Marko Arnautovic situation, where clearly that's dead in the water. Thank God for that. And we've also been linked with two midfielders, both that were targets of the previous regime at Manchester United. One being Lazio's Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, and the other one being Adrien Rabiot. Now, I want to focus on Adrien Rabiot for a second because for a lot of people, myself included, his growing interest by United's board to acquire him only makes sense to me in the fact that they probably want to have more depth in the team, probably have someone with a bit more technical ability. Now, technically he may seem like he's a decent fit, but a lot of people have been looking at his stats as of late, and they're kind of some question marks over whether this might be a good signing or not. For those of you who don't know, Adrien Rabiot is a French international midfielder who currently plays for Juventus, signed from Paris Saint-Germain in 2019. Also a fun fact, in his youth career, he was also a Manchester City academy player for about a year, from 2008 to 2009, eventually going to Paris Saint-Germain as a youth player in 2012. He left Paris Saint-Germain under a bit of a cloud, but from what I understand, there was a falling out between his mother, who's also his agent, and then head coach of PSG at the time, Laurent Blanc. He left Juventus in 2019 on a free transfer. He has been part of the team for the last 3 seasons. During his time at Juventus, he has made 94 appearances, scoring 5 goals. I mean, he is a central midfielder, can also be deployed as a defensive midfielder at times, so he's not going to be the most progressive player. But he made his debut for them on the 24th of August, coming on as a halftime substitute for Sami Khedira in a 1-1 win over Parma. So he's obviously, as a defensive midfielder, he's not going to be the most prolific player. But his other stats also raise a few eyebrows. But he's not, I don't think he may be as bad as people point him out to be. Using FBref.com as a comparison to other players in his position over the period of time, I've used this as a comparison statistic comparing him to at least 4 similar players in those positions. Apart from Rabiot, similar players in his specific type of position are Youri Tielemans, another target for Manchester United, Aurelien Tchouameni, who recently signed for Real Madrid from Monaco, the aforementioned Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, Ibrahima Zankare, and Fabio Vieira, who was recently bought by Arsenal. When you look at his statistics, playing time, he ranks 3rd, with Tielemans and Milinkovic-Savic beating him in that competition with 257 matches that Rabiot has played compared to 307 for Tielemans and 268 for Milinkovic-Savic. Goals as well too, 19 for Rabiot, behind Milinkovic-Savic with 56 and Tielemans with 49. Now mind you, this is not just in one season, this is an accumulation of games over the career with 3 different teams that they played for. If you also incorporate the national teams of all these players as well. Shooting, he's also well behind the 3. Rabiot is given 19 shots, and shot on target accuracy is 29.5%, behind Sergei Milinkovic-Savic with 33.8%, and Youri Tielemans with a 43.7% average. So it's not bad, but it's not great either. His passing is also something that you would also look to question as well too, with Sergei Milinkovic-Savic having the most completed passes, and along with him, Youri Tielemans once again is second behind him with a completion rate of 80%. Adrien Rabiot is actually the highest with completion in those passes. He doesn't do many, but he has a high accuracy level with 89.6. Sergei Milinkovic-Savic is third with 78.9. Yuri Tielemans is second with 80%. Passing type, you look at positional, dead passes, progressive passes, and pressing. Rabiot is up there, but he is third in that position with pressing actions at 1,123. Tielemans with 1,572. Milinkovic-Savic with 1,797. Shot creation is also something that Adrien Rabiot seems to be falling behind a bit. Sergei Milinkovic-Savic would take about 33 shots within the last few seasons since he's been there, with 20 for Tielemans and 11 for Adrien Rabiot. Now, like I said, this will raise a lot of eyebrows for a lot of people. He's not the most progressive, and there's been a stat going around where apparently his stats seem to be bad, or just as bad, if not worse, than Scott McTominay's. Now, that's probably being used as regards Rabiot's worst season to compare to Scott's best season. But Rabiot's had better seasons. He's also been more successful than Scott McTominay. Multiple league titles with PSG, a 3-time Italian Serie A winner with Juventus. So clearly, he has the capability of being a good player. Regular France international, as he's been called up regularly by Didier Deschamps. So he has his usefulness. Will a change of scenery be able to help revitalize Adrien Rabiot's career? That may be the question. And it also still remains, should this deal be completed, you have to wonder what Erik ten Hag actually sees in Rabiot to basically fit the system that he's trying to implement. His defensive style, he's very physical. And from the way he's built, he has the capability to survive in the Premier League, at least given from what we've seen. But the question is, from there, will his technical ability be sound enough for him to be a better ball player than what we have currently in our midfield? So I'll leave that question to you guys. Would Adrien Rabiot be considered an upgrade to Manchester United's midfield? Or are we signing a French version of Scott McTominay? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Once again, we thank you all for being a part of our videos and subscribing to our content and sharing our content. Once again, Chat and the Gang will be live at 6, talking about this and more other in-depth stuff in the United Hour. We will be bringing you more stuff as it breaks. Once again, we thank you for your time. We thank you for sharing our content. Like, share, and subscribe. Please. We'll see you for the next one.
Support the United Hour. Click that like button and subscribe.